Good morning. Today's the day of the Monster Stack, day 10 of my trip here in Vegas at the WSOP. And yeah, I'll be playing the Monster Stack Flight A and hoping to continue to play good, build a stack and move on to day 2. So right now I'm going to head over to Bally's and figure out what I'm going to do for breakfast and grab a coffee. I'll see you over there. Okay, let's see what seat we got in which room. Paris Black, table 80, seat 7. Alright, we're going to go over to Paris. Okay, so we're about 20 minutes before the start of the Monster Stack, and I thought I'd give you a quick overview of what the Monster Stack is. So it costs $1,500 to buy in. It's, I think, a 4-day event, and the levels are an hour, and we start with 50,000 chips. So very similar to the housewarming, except there's only 2 starting flights and you can only enter each one once if you don't make it through to the second day. And the blind levels are longer, and there's 1 extra blind level in at the beginning. I'm not sure about day 2 onwards. So yeah, it's a better structure, and hopefully we can run this one up. So I'll see you at the end of the first session for an update on how I'm going. Okay, let's make sure we go to the right table. Paris Black 80, number 7. 80?
Yeah.
Okay, we should start with 50,000. 25, 35, 40. 48, 49, 50. Okay, hey everyone, we're at the first break, so we just played 2 levels of the Monster Stack, and I'm still in. I've built my stack up to 75,000 from the starting 50, and let's talk about some of the hands. We start at 50,000, blinds are 100, 200 with a 200 big blind ante. Basically lose a few hands and get down to 47,000. I have ace 3 suited of clubs. Cutoff opens to 600. I 3-bet to 1,500, and the cutoff calls. The flop's jack 6-6 with 1 club. I c-bet 1,200 and they fold. I'm at 49,000. Next hand, early position limps in for 200, and I raise to 1,000 with king queen of hearts. They call. The flop is queen something something. They check. I c-bet 1,200 and they fold. We're at 50,000 again. Play the blinds. We're at 49. I 3-bet ace king and they fold. We're back up to 50, so we're just jumping up and down a little bit. Jack 8 suited of diamonds. I open an early position. The button calls. The flop is jack 9-6 with 2 hearts. We both check the flop. It turns another heart. I bet 1,000. They call. The river's a 10. I bet 1,400 and they raise to 3,200, and I fold. We're at 47,000. Call 900 from the big blind with ace 7 of spades and fold on the flop. We're down to 46. I isolate ace jack offsuit over a limper to 1,500. The button calls, the limper calls, the flop's 7-7-8. Limper checks, I bet 1,500. They both call. We check through the turn, which doesn't matter. The early position player bets 5,300 and we both fold. I'm at 43,000 now. I'm on the big blind with 9-10 of diamonds. There's a raise to 700 with 2 callers. I call as well. Flop is 6-8-3 with 2 clubs, so I have a gut shot. Check to the original raiser who bets 1,400, and 2 players call. I'm last to call. I call as well. Turns a 5, so no help to me. Check all the way to the late position player who bets 4,400. I fold. Another player folds and they play a pot. I'm at 40,000 now. I 3-bet with aces and everyone folds. Get to 42. Next one's sort of interesting. I open ace 7 offsuit on the cutoff to 1,200, so that's 4 times the blind. We're now at 200, 300, with a 300 big blind ante. The flop is 8-5-10 with 2 hearts, so I have nothing. I check this flop back. The small blind called me, so they check, I check. The turn's a king. He bets 1200. I feel like this is better for my range, so I raise to 3000, and he pretty quickly calls. The river's a blank. He checks, and I think for a long time and figure that I'm probably better than the flush draws and any random bluffs, so I just check it back, and he shows 6-2 or 6-3, I forget exactly, with 2 hearts, so he was on the flush draw, and I win with the ace high. So I'm up to 46,000. I have Jack 8 suited of hearts. There's a few limpers. I limp in, a raise happens, all of the other limpers call. Basically, hit nothing on this one, end up at 43,000. Then I have Jack 10 offsuit. There's a limp in early position. I raise to 1400. Late position calls, and the limper calls. The flop is 8-9 ace. Limper checks. I bet 2500. The late position player calls, and the early position limper raises to 6500. So another 4,000. I call there, considering there's I'm open-ended here, so I call, and the late position player folds for the extra. The turn's a queen, so I make my straight. There's no suits, no worries there. Early position player bets pretty much all in for 25,000. I go all in for the rest. It's like only a few hundred more. He calls with 2 pair, 9-8, and the river is basically a blank. It pairs the board again, so would have counterfeited him if I had a pair. But I win there, and I'm at 78,000. Folds to the small blind, who raises to 800. Blinds are 200, 300, 300. I call with Jack 9. Flop is Jack 10, 5 with 2 spades. Early position, the small blind bets 1,000. I call. Turn is the king of spades. Now there's 3 spades on the board. They bet 1,000 again. So small, I decide to call. The river's the ace of spades. So now there's 4 spades on the board. Jack 10, king, ace. They bet 1,000 again, and I'm out of there at that point. And they show queen 3 with the queen of spades for the royal flush. So I'm at 75,000. Doing pretty well. Table's going good. Let's keep it going. Don't have the average stack. You can just assume that the average stack is basically 50,000. They won't show the eliminated players probably until we make the money. And I just wanted to mention again, if you're liking these videos, click the like button. If you haven't subscribed and you're liking the videos, you want to see more, click the subscribe button. I really appreciate everyone liking and subscribing to my channel. I'm almost at 150 subscribers, which pretty much blows my mind, considering I've pretty much only been doing this for just over a week. So thanks everyone for that. Okay, we just hit the second break. Coming back from the last break, here's some hands. I got 75,000, the blinds are 200, 400. I raise a small blind with Jack 10 of diamonds. I call a raise from the small blind with Jack 10 of diamonds and fold on the flop, so I'm down to 74. I raise 8-9 of diamonds under the gun to 1,000. Get 4 callers. I bet on 9-5-5 with 1 diamond. Bet 2,000, get 1 caller. The turn's a queen of diamonds, so I bet again 3,000 and he folds. So I'm up to 78.7. In middle position opens 1,000. I 3-bet ace-8 suited to 2,500. The original raiser calls. The flop is queen 8-4 with 1 spade. I have the spades. And he checks. I bet 2,000 and he folds. Now we're at 82,000. Queen 10 of hearts. I call an early position players open with queen 10 of hearts, and the big blind calls. The flop's Jack, ace, something. The original raiser bets 1,400. I call and the big blind calls. The turn comes the king, so we make the straight. There's no possible flush out there. Original raiser checks to me and I bet 7,000, pretty big, and the small blind raises to 18,000. So I think here he has to have the same hand as me or a set of something. But I guess a set is pretty unlikely because he probably would have 3-bet aces, jacks, kings, and so he could only possibly have that lower card that was on the flop. I just call. When the river pairs the board, makes a king, so we're losing now to a full house. He just checks. At this point, I think I'm good, and we're at least chopping. So I bet 15,000. He thinks for a while and calls and shows Queen 10 as well. So we split that pot, and I'm still at 82,000. Blinds go up 300, 500. I 3-bet ace jack offsuit and win pre-flop, so we go up to 85, and then we get moved to a new table. And this table is not looking very good at this stage. I've called a raise with pocket twos and lost. The blinds have taken me down to 82.7 and then down to 78, which is what I have now. So we're on a 20-minute break, and then we'll be back for the third set of 2 levels. Let's see what we can do against this new table. Okay, second time doing this. We just finished the third set of blinds. Let's see. Okay, blinds of 300, 600. I blind down to 75,000. I call and open from the small blind with king 10, then we go 4 ways to the flop. Flop's king, king 2. Everyone checks, turns a 9. I bet 2,500, everyone folds. So we go up to 80k. Blinds go up and I move to a different table. So the blinds are 400, 800. I have 78,000. Early position opens to 1,800. Another early position player calls. I call with 10s in middle position, and another middle position player calls. Flops queen 3-3. The original raiser bets 1,800, and the early position player folds. I call and middle position player calls. Turns a 7. Everyone checks. The river's another queen. So queen 3-3, 7 queen. Everyone checks and I win versus ace king, and we don't know what the other player has, so I go up to 89. I'm on the big blind with ace queen. Middle position player raises. The small blind, the button, and I all call. Flop is king XX, and we all check. Turns an ace, so I make top pair. Check to the original raiser who bets 2,500. The other 2 players fold and I call. The river's another king. So king, XX, ace, king. We both check the river and I win with a better kicker than him. So I have 96,000. I 3-bet the button. I 3-bet on the button with ace queen versus cut off open, and flop comes down. I c-bet and win. Go up to 103,000. And we're at the next break. Okay, so I am all the way down to 6,000. Let me talk through some hands. All right, the blinds are 500, 1,000. I've got king queen versus the small blind. Small blind raises 2,500. I call. The flop's 953. He bets 2,000. I call. Turns doesn't change anything. He bets 6,000 and I fold. So now we're at 97,000. Blind to 87. I open with 1 caller, continuation bet, and they fold. I go up to 91. Blind down to 88. Then I play blind versus blind and win a small hand, get to 90k. Blind all the way down to 82, and then the final hand happens, which takes me down to 6,000. So a player that's been playing all sorts of different hands, limps in for the very last hand before the break. I have king jack on the button. I raise to 6,000. The blinds are 600, 1,200. He calls. The flop is jack, ace, X, and there's also a jack exposed with 2 hearts on the flop. He bets 10,000. I call. Turn is a king. He bets 10,000. I call. The river comes a queen of hearts, and I'm pretty sure that he will do this with hearts, of course, but also any kind of random hand, just trying to win the last hand. So he bets large bet, 50,000. I only have 56. and I call and he shows the hearts. So we're down to 6,000. Maybe we can spin it up or we can rebuy tomorrow. See you then. Okay, so dinner break. We have 75 minutes, we've got about 40 minutes left, and I went out to Istanbul's Mediterranean, which was recommended to me by one of the Lyft drivers, and I got the fries and doner bowl, I think is what it's called. So here it is here. And I got a Pepsi Max to go with it. So a little bit more of a food video for Uncle Eddie. Let's see if I can eat and record. So it comes with lamb and beef and chicken, with fries and salad. And this is more of a fast food because of the amount of time that I had from poker. Yeah, so I only had 75 minutes, and I was lucky I got there quick, and it was only like, fourth or fifth in the line. I have to say it's very nice. It comes with their house sauce, and I just got all the salads. Yeah, so something quick. You can get like wraps or pita sandwiches, pita, those sort of wraps too, as well. Yeah, so all in all, Istanbul's thumbs up. So just reflecting on that last play, calling the guy down, it's most definitely a bad play, but what you gonna do? So what I'll be deciding, we'll try and spin up what we've got, which is very little. It's like 4 blinds, I think. And if we can spin it up, then great. If not, I'll be deciding whether I buy in again tomorrow, or maybe we just play some smaller tournaments to finish off the trip. We'll see how we go. Okay, so I'm back at the condo, and you would have seen the clip of me buying a cake out of the vending machine, since a few of you asked for that, and I also wanted to try it myself. So tonight was the night. Gonna bury my sorrows in some vending machine cake. So here you go. So it says to, after purchasing it out of the machine, wait 15 minutes for it to come to room temperature, and then to eat the cake. So I caught a Uber or a Lyft from over at Bally's Paris to where I'm staying. So it's been a good amount of time. That should have sorted that out. So out you get. Okay, so there's plenty of icing still in the packaging, and we'll just have to put on there, I guess. Don't want to lose out on that icing. So I think this was like $8 or something for this slice of cake. Okay, so let's make a little chunk like that. Grab the camera. Okay, vending machine cake. It's quite delicious. This is the red velvet cake, and yes, it is very good. I would suggest giving it a go at least once. Anyway, that's it for the vlog today. I'll see you all tomorrow.